Welcome guys to another Wild Rift video. In today's video we're going to play Tristana on the Dragon Lane, and you guys want to see some more variety, so I decided to show you a little bit of my AD carry skills, which is like my secondary main role. That every single time I get tilted from the mid lane because I feel I'm not having too big of an impact, or I have simply a losing streak, which I'm in right now, this is normal to happen, I transition over to playing AD carry. So if you haven't already, make sure to like this video right here. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more Wild Rift video content. If you don't know me yet, I'm a top 200, or at the moment, because I'm on a huge losing streak, 250 legendary Q Wild Rift player, and I'm Grandmaster player. So what you can see right here is happening is that Blitzcrank took Smite for some reason, so they decided to steal Rammus' blue buff or red buff, and my counter to that was simply to shove in the wave, give them a few hits, and basically force Blitzcrank to walk all the way around the wall, so I deny him some XP. In general, what I can say about this game, like the pre-game lobby was pretty fun. This brand right here was saying like, I'm not a good support, and I started saying like, hey, I just want one game, because I was very tilted at that point. I lost like 4 games in a row, and I was pretty tilted, and this brand said like, hey, I can't play support, and my response was, well, I just want one game where some player doesn't flame about his role. That would be awesome. And like afterwards, I checked his game, and he was like a very, very good Akshan player. And if I had known this, I would probably have given him the role, because I can play support. If, as you've seen in my Nami videos, for example, if you haven't done that, make sure to check them out after this video right here. I give some very good insights on how to play support on there if you're not a support main. Because if you're not a support main, like, you can do some very simple things that make it easier for you to play support, so you don't have to cry in champion select that this isn't your main role. So Tristana right here, I think she's in a pretty good state. She takes a while to get online, and you will see that inside of the game right here. So all I'm doing at this point is basically farming, okay? So for the first few minutes, this is going to be the farming simulator. I'm watching Brandon, what he is doing. He's trying to poke the enemies. Rammus is doing a pretty good gank, so I'm jumping onto the Jhin, seeing if I can burn some summoners, which I did with his barrier. And I'm back to farming. So Rammus right here, he did a pretty good job ganking. He knows that his buff is gone, that someone took it. And we can see, if you take a look at the map, I can see that Lee Sin is ganking, so I do my best job to stay away from him, do my W, immediately exhaust the Lee Sin because he's already level 5 and he's dead, because he did a super tower dive. I don't know why you would do that solely as Lee Sin. I tried to jump in maybe because like at this moment I thought I maybe could get the Jhin, and I also apologize for not having any in-game music. My phone was on mute, I didn't play with the sound on, so I hope my commentary is enough. I maybe will put some background music into it. Maybe I won't. And my commentary will hopefully be enough. So I'm pushing the turret here, trying to get a huge lead on Jhin, and my goal right here was to like basically get I forgot the name, but I wanted to get my first item before I had to go back. Unfortunately, this didn't happen. And also, if you have seen what I just did there, if you time it right, you can jump out of the Blitzcrank Q with your W as a Tristana, or basically with a lot of champions that have like a moving ability. So this kind of saved my ass right here. So I'm watching the Rammus gank. Blitzcrank is roaming. I would advise that brand right here also to roam. And as you can see, this Lee Sin does another stupid mistake, another tower dive. He apparently didn't learn from his first tower dive. But that's okay. That's okay. I take the free elo. Like, we take the feed from the enemies, and I'm happy about that. Brand helps me to push the lane. Luckily, he is not stealing farm. I have other games where my support is like straight up farming, which will be shown in another upcoming Wayne video I have right there. And I will also upload it. So make sure to subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss this video right here, or the next videos. Otherwise, YouTube might not notify you. That would be sad, right? So again, this is like as interesting as a Tristana lane gets if you play it right. You can also play a little bit more aggressively than me, but I'm not the biggest fan of playing aggressive against Jin and Blitzcrank because all they will do is they will kill me. And if you've watched my playstyle and you've taken a look at the champions I'm mainly playing, they all take a while to get online. I'm not the biggest fan of playing like those early game carries, and now I have my Storm Razor finished. That was the name of the item. So they are going immediately for the Rift Herald right here. So I decide to take a walk there, and maybe I can help, or I can stop them from doing it, because my Rammus is also already in place. I jump in there, which isn't necessarily the best thing you can do because you want to have your abilities or your W ability ready to flee, but I decided to jump in like a maniac. So we got the Echo right here, and that's basically it. I'm not 100% sure if we got the Rift Herald, and if you haven't watched my videos yet and you're not subscribed and you are watching me right here for the first time, you will see that those games right here, I'm not playing them live. I commentate afterwards over them because I am confident in my abilities as a player. I consider myself as one of the best players on the server right now. But I'm also the best commentator, but I can't do both at the same time. I decided to go for the Blitzcrank right here because it was like useless for me to try to flee right there. And there's something going to happen that's not necessarily the best thing. Okay, I thought this Yasuo is going to make a triple kill. Maybe that's going to happen later on in the game. So next move, we got the bot lane turret, which is everything I wanted from this game. And what I do next is I try to go for the mid lane farm right there before Orianna does, because I think the farm is better on me. And then we go for getting some more turret gold before the turret plating is going to fall off right there. So I'm going for another hit. This Yasuo is going onto me. I unfortunately don't have my W, so I need to dodge his Q, and he should be dead. I jump out right away, because as a Tristana you get a nice W reset if you are participating in someone getting killed. I'm grabbing the heal fruits right here. I'm not going too aggressively for the enemies, for Yasuo, because there were like 3 other enemies around there, so this would have been the best decision I could make. And this is also one of the things I can tell you, like, you can climb easily as long as you don't do stupid stuff. Okay, I immediately exhausted the Echo, and again, like, I just want to say this: if you don't do stupid stuff, you will climb. I did some stupid stuff right here, and maybe that's also why I'm in a losing streak right now. Even Rammus is saying stop inting or stop OT. I just thought he's going to mean stop inting. This Rammus right here, I really have to give him props right here for playing this insanely well. And they're going to clear up the whole team, so my only mission is going to be to push another mid lane turret. This Echo is maybe going to get away from the Teemo. I unfortunately don't have my jump, but the Teemo poison is just too obnoxious, so he doesn't get away. This is going to be a pretty free mid lane turret for us. Like, most of the enemies are dead, they're just walking out of base, and we got a free turret right there. Maybe the thought I had was maybe I can steal some farm, and I had a lag right here. If you haven't watched it, like, scroll back just 5 seconds, and I got the lead with my ult. And this is what you're going to do with Tristana. Like, one of the things that makes me a good ADC, and I feel like a jerk saying this, but is my positioning. I would consider myself, or I think I have a very good positioning, and Tristana makes it a lot easier with her escape ability than other champions like a Draven, or I can't think of another ADC that doesn't have, or an Ashe. But what I want to say is that wasn't able to think of another ADC that has the same escaping abilities or has no escaping abilities at all. So we're in a pretty good spot right now. I have like 2.5 items finished, and as soon as you have your Infinity Edge with Tristana, it should be pretty much game over. Okay, because Tristana, like, the way she works is she's getting more and more range the more levels she has, and with items she just scales exceptionally well. So I'm cleaning jungle farm right here, because Rammus' bot side, it wasn't his biggest goal. I'm giving some damage to Jin. This Lee Sin is trying to get me right here, which I counter with simply my ult and an exhaust. And I sense that my team is going to fight there, so I grab the fruits, I push out the wave so they don't get the turret just in case we lose, and then I jump right into killing enemies. The reason why I cleared those minions, it should be pretty obvious. It's simply because I didn't want him to get the free turret. We still have like free turrets and the split crank with his W. Like he counters himself a little bit, and I got another enemy. So this is what I meant with Tristana coming online, especially with the, I think it's called press the attack or lethal tempo. I'm not 100% sure of the names of the runes, but the one gives you basically more attack speed the more enemies, or the more often you hit the enemies. Okay, so this, you know what I mean, right? So also, if you have any like suggestions, what you want to see on this channel right here, leave them down in the comments. I'm pretty open. I have like a very usually like I play only a handful of champions because I believe if you play only a handful of champions, you're going to climb easier and faster. But I'm also very versatile on a lot of champions, okay? So I'm doing some stupid stuff right here. I remember doing this. Like I wanted to join my team way earlier, but I also didn't want to screw over the Rammus by leaving one of his camps half cleared. I didn't want to counter jungle my own jungler. Maybe we could have gotten the enemies, but I simply jump in, I kill a Lee Sin, I do another jump onto the onto the Jhin, sorry guys. And I basically know I'm 6-2, I can play very, very aggressively. This is something like you need to understand in which points of the game you can play aggressively. And I know like, okay, I'm 6-2, like I have a pretty fat Rammus right there. So I can play this whole thing aggressively. This Echo ults away. And this Teemo decides to go in very aggressively. Like I think it's one of the best Teemos I've seen in a while now. I immediately exhausted the Yasuo. I wanted to ult him away and jump into him. And I think I die right there because I can't dodge, okay? But I still got the Jhin, or Orianna got the Jhin, and she dies in 1v1 versus the Lee Sin. I decide like I need some more lifesteal, I need some more durability because they have like 2 or 3 enemies that can simply just jump on me, which is Echo, Yasuo, and Lee Sin. So I decided to go for Bloodthirst in this game simply for the lifesteal. So taking a look at what Brand is doing, I guess he's going to die. Rammus does a pretty good job at reacting quickly, so that Lee Sin should be dead as well. And this is going to be a free dragon for us. So hopefully it was worth for the Lee Sin to give up the dragon for the Brand kill, for the support. So he's 6-9, like this is also something I talked about. Don't do stupid stuff. If he wouldn't have done those 2 tower dives at level like 2 and 5 against me into mid lane you've seen earlier in this game, this would have been way easier for this Lee Sin to carry basically. Or at least like he wouldn't have had that strong enemies because we didn't have that much gold in that case. So I don't know why my team didn't went for the dragon because it was basically free. Now Lee Sin is back up alive and it's going to get a little bit more close, but because we can clear it so quickly, it wasn't that big of a deal. So I decided to go for the red buff right here for obvious reasons. It's like the AD carry buff. And a level 13. This Lee Sin is also again trying to fight the Rammus, which is not a good idea. He kicks away the Rammus. I don't have my jump, unfortunately. Now I have it. I draw my attack onto the Lee Sin because I didn't want to accidentally hit the minion and miss the kill. And I knew that Blitzcrank was going to grab me, so I was like trying to slide on the wall. 9-3 right now. We are playing this pretty safe, I would say. And take a look at my damage right here. I simply obliterate the enemies after having like my third item, and this is like the big power spike Tristana gets right here. Take a look at this damage again. I thought about jumping in there, but this, like, I probably would have been dead. And again, I was talking about not making stupid decisions, so I can't tell you that right here. And probably, like, me with 10-3, like, I'm worth, or my death is worth way more to the enemies than it is for me to get the Blitzcrank and maybe kill the Jin, but then die under the turret. So this wouldn't have been worth for me. Blitzcrank is trying to chase me down right here, not knowing that I'm in a completely different brush, going back and grabbing the Bloodthirster. Again, the reason why I get the Bloodthirster is because I want some more survivability. That's also why I'm buying the Stasis enchantment, or Zonias, if it's still called like that. It was called like that in the old PC times, but I think it's a whole item and not just like a boot enchantment. At least the time I played the game. Now, a lot of people have been asking me like what my rank on PC was, and I have been a Turkish challenger, and I have been on the Russian server. I have been in master tier. On Europe, it was like my peak rank was like Diamond 3 or Diamond 2. The reason is like the Europe server is way more competitive. I'm jumping over 2 walls right here. This is a nice ability I think you can't do with a lot of champions. So I'm flashing behind the Blitzcrank because I know that is going to get slowed by his W, like he's countering himself right there. So I jump onto the enemy and I knew that I could play very aggressively, especially with the extra heal I'm getting there. This was a no-brainer basically. I'm grabbing the red buff right here. This Echo right here is the only like the Echo W is something I'm scared of, and this is a pretty much free Baron because like the enemy team is low or dead, and my team simply doesn't want to help. Orianna realized what we need to do right there. I help Ramos tanking the whole thing, and again, this is a free Baron. I thought about what I was going to do there, so I had a short brain lag in game. And the reason why I was quiet just a second is simply because I thought about, okay, what did I think at this particular moment? And I realized, okay, I didn't think anything at that particular moment. I'm thinking about jumping onto the Yasuo, which I do right there. You shouldn't immediately jump onto the enemies, especially against something like Yasuo. Like, I'm a very huge lead, but I try to play by my principles. Now, Lee Sin, I think he started to troll right there, or not troll, but he tried to split push us away as like his only option to fight, and was not a good decision overall, because we're getting the free inhib turret. I don't know if Lee Sin would have made a big difference right there. I don't know why I ulted the Blitzcrank away, but this is a game you can simply play down right now. I think the next upload is going to be a Wayne gameplay, and this is going to be way more close. So make sure to subscribe so you see that video as well. Also, that was a pretty risky play by me right there. But this is how we're going to end the game. And as you've seen, playing by the principles, I've taken a look at how Tristana works, and I played by the champion's means. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video right here and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another video. And I'm going to see you guys in the next one.